peace, y'all. In this video, I'd like to come at y'all with a brand new video. I just been digesting this new season we are under, where the rain starts to pour, where the cold starts to occur, and just everything changes. So just keep your mind right, stay true to yourself and pay attention to what you are doing, because every day matters, man. People struggle with themselves, or they struggle with the challenges that life faces, right? But to be honest, y'all, it's not even about that. It's more likely about getting to know you and reminding yourself that I don't need nothing. All I need is myself, and all I gotta do is take it one day at a time. But instead, live in that day and learn from that day, and work hard on that day, because that day is forging you to be a better person tomorrow. Any day is great as long as you live and learn from it. You know what I'm saying, family? So in this video, I would like to say salute to all the ones who are, like I say, becoming true to them, staying authentic to you, and not feeling like you gotta hide yourself for somebody else, man, because you shouldn't be like that. We all gonna come in this world to be who we want to be, and if you live for someone else, well, you're not happy because you're hiding who you really are, and that's what your problem is. But for the people who are like, where have you been though? I've been getting to the bag. I've been enjoying my day that are to come, and the ones that are upcoming, because it's about patience. It's about waiting and striking whenever life is telling you to. Behind me, the scenery, sometimes it will be there and sometimes it will not, because changes occur. Weather's unpredictable. That's how you should move. You should move with unpredictability, y'all, because the routine that you set up is for when you choose to act on it with your actions. But I give y'all a brand new video because the goal is to never stop. Yes, you could take a break and realize that you got to catch back up on life, man, because you're not who you are on the camera. If you're not who you are, what you say you are in real life, So it is always good to, like I say, live your normal life and rise, because it will be shown to you on the camera. As long as you change, as long as you stop, doing things that are going to harm you or push you back, When I was on those younger days or those lower days of existence, y'all, when I didn't have much energy, y'all, I didn't have the reality I seen to be it, which is, people think about things that they want, or they see a perfect life that exists only in their mind. But, in reality, it's all foggy and shit, or it's diluted or downside, because they're not loving them enough to where they know that they're doing the right thing. Most people, they hide with masks because they don't like what they have become in the shadows, And if you're not someone that's going to stay true to your shadow, well then, your shadow will be, like I say, depicted in that light whenever you walk out, because you can't hide who you become, man. You can't hide a glow if you have it. And for the ones who don't have the glow, you can't say you have it if you ain't working to get it, because the glow is earned, You could put on, you can stand in the sun for hours. You could put as much as fucking, like I say, foundation as you want to, but you will never get a glow. You ain't, like I say, glowing within, or you're not practicing what to be is, which is live, like I say, organically, and stop fucking your life up, because you're only, wasting time or wasting what God is trying to give you, So in this video, y'all, I just want to remind y'all that Christmas is on the way. Thanksgiving is on the way. But right now it's Halloween. Right now it's time to rise and just to be something, to stand for something. But you can't stand for something, y'all, if you don't know what you're trying to stand for, So this leads me to my video. Enjoy those days, man, that are, to make you proficient, Bad luck will happen to you, y'all, if you're on those lower days and you stay stuck there, because if you're a magnet, y'all, well, how you feel within, it's gonna be showing outside of you. And you might be around phony or bullshit, y'all. But when you start rising, y'all, and your aura expands, well, all that shit gets, like I say, it gets pushed away from you because your aura is protecting you. Little do you know that. You might be trying to hold on to things, or you might be trying to live with things or someone, but you don't know why the fuck it's not working, because the universe sees that you changed, and maybe the other person is still trying to change but ain't there yet. So you gotta, like I say, kick rocks and leave what was in the past behind, because it doesn't serve you. What doesn't serve you will only hold you back. So you gotta, like I say, fall away and live for you, man. You know, it is Scorpio season, so shout out to all the real ones, man, the ones who can relate to myself, because, you know, we're the ones who are mirrors, man. We reflect at what the fuck is thrown at us, man. And that's why, you know, they can't take that kind of ambition or power, man, because power is in the way you move. It's in the things that you do when no one else does. You know, because you're not even trying to compete with no one. You're just trying to elevate because you want to be somebody stronger than who you were yesterday. People won't see it like that, though, because they don't have your brain. They don't have, like I say, your natural gifts that God has, you know, put upon you. Most people in this world are living with struggles, or they're trying to be something to attract. You won't attract nothing, though, if you are letting everything hold you back. That won't work, family, because you're not taking time to see those problems that you are trying to, you know, battle. And like I said, literally put that work in. You gotta put that work in every day. I fuck around, might drop this video today because I feel good. I'm not worrying about nobody. I'm just trying to be, because that's what attracts everything to you, whether it's good or bad, because you're like light. The tissue has been removed from that light, or you're a brand new light bulb, because you have no problems that are gonna hold you back, you know. But if you're on those lower realms of existence now, but you're trying to rise, well, it starts with what you are doing now, family. Rise, be something, and it's not gonna take you, like I say, a day or two to be something. Be something every day that's gonna better you. Work your body up, man, so that hoe can, like I say, get stronger. You know, eliminate things that are fucking up your schedule, man. Whether it's holding you back, or you're just not, feeling like you don't want to do it. But life is gonna shake your world, or it's gonna rock you, because, you know, if you're trying to compete with others, y'all, you're all gonna attract people who are likewise. So you're gonna be attracting people that want to compete with you. And that's why I say, you must be something that is peaceful, calm, and subtle, because you don't want to worry about it. You're just trying to be something, you know. But to be something, y'all, to not worry about what anyone says. My bad if I yawn, y'all. You know, I stay getting to the bag, and I don't settle for nothing. You know, I have multiple incomes coming in, because I don't just sit and wait. You know, I take action, and that's why, you know, I'm not gonna say I've been slowing down on the videos yet, but I've been holding that energy within me, y'all, so it could strengthen myself, protect me out here in this darkness of a world, you know. And just fucking with certain people, y'all, it's best to not even fuck with the ones who don't see you like that fully, because you're giving them energy when they are giving you nothing in return. So that's why I say you must leave that shit in the dirt, you know. Put a gravestone on it if you have to. But for the ones who have, you know, been through that shit and all these higher realms of existence like myself, well, you're just sitting back, relaxing, living, and enjoying life, because you have put that work in. You have let God show you what you gotta do to do it. But you must take action. You must rely on you, and you must not listen to no one or nothing. You don't gotta tell nobody nothing. All you gotta do is, like I say, show up. You know, I don't feel bad that I didn't post for a while, because I know that when I do post, y'all, you know, it's gonna be like I never left. Because, like I said, I don't leave. All I do is take time to rebuild that prana, or that life force, so I can, like I say, force it upon the ones that need the message, because they might not have awareness simply, or they just might not want to do shit today. But if someone like myself does it, then it might inspire them. Especially if I'm your favorite YouTuber, when really, yo, I'm just like a teacher or a guider. But you want to act with calmness, and you just want to rely on you. People are going to talk about you whether you don't want them to or not. You're going to have friends who are going to betray you whether you want them or not. And you're going to have people, like I said, jealous you from a mile or not, because how you see life, they don't. And it's not their fault. It's not yours either. But it's just about the problems that you faced and have became victored upon. You won. Then they're probably fighting shit that, you already, long gone surpassed. Or it just could be things that hold people back, because trauma, it's like an endless painkiller. Because, yeah, it don't hurt you, but it's stuck on them. So that's why they are giving you what the fuck they have endured or living with. But it is what it is. So that's why I say, just live your life, be something, and make sure that no one stops you, because you got a long life ahead of you if you see yourself walking with purpose. So just remember, family, that I don't need no one. All I need to do is be myself. All I need to do is keep going. And all I need to do is show up. Whether it's work, whether it's a video, whether it's going to the store to get groceries for you, because that's all you can get right now. But it's still something that you gotta forget done, whether you're working out, So, think about that, y'all. For whoever is living through battles or whatever days you're on, it don't really matter. But it's about the energy that you are obtaining and holding on to, Energy gives you awareness, because the energy is living through your body to give you what the fuck living truly is. Now, for the ones who don't have much energy or just are suffocating themselves with anything, you're gonna fall short, because you're just waiting. You're just hoping or praying. But no changes will be made like that. You can pray many times, but if you ain't putting action behind that prayer, y'all, who's gonna hear the call? Nobody. Because God's saying that you're just procrastinating. You're just living, rent free without doing anything, when you need to make a change now. So think about that shit, man. We're in October, so if you're going trick-or-treating, the best I can say is do it happily. Don't do it full of emotions and full of grit, because you might attract people who are just like that. And it's best to live peacefully. You want to attract peaceful people into your life. Not saying you don't go trick-or-treating. Do what you must, but be yourself. Be yourself, man. Haunted houses ain't my type of thing, y'all, because I don't really get scared of anything. I don't like showing fear unless I'm living in that for a temporary, moment. Fear is something that reminds you that you are alive, though, because when you are afraid, y'all, you see what the fuck it is that you must, learn from, so it doesn't happen again. Because if you are afraid of something, you're gonna keep feeling like that way until you learn how to adapt to it. Most people ain't gonna tell you that, because they run from their problems, or they stuck in that pain. But your pain is gonna forever be with you, y'all, until you live with it. And you learn how to flow instead of going against the grain, But keep rising, keep living, and just remind yourself that as long as I'm doing everything that I came down here to do, y'all, no one can stop me, because no one can block my blessings. When I push these videos out, y'all, I hope that y'all do something that y'all want to do, whether it's buying things that satisfy your ego and your higher self, man. Because not only will your ego feel good about it, but your higher self will too, because it's something that you love to do. Take action on that girl. Take action on that job. Take action on what it is you must, that you see, because you ain't here for a long time. You're here for a good time. So why live in, negativity or just, like I say, simple sadness when you could be doing something that's gonna better you and better your mind, But you want people who you're gonna grow with. You don't want plants that are dead already, because it won't work. They're gonna push out their fantasies and their concerns on you because, like I say, most people in this world ain't like a light that has nothing. They're lights with no batteries, but your lights with endless batteries because you know how to light up. Not that they don't know, but they might not be aware, So, I say you gotta change them by changing you, because no matter if they look at you or not, no matter if they judge you or not, or they see something in you that they don't have yet, and that's because you have taken time to hear God. You heard the call, so you picked that bitch up. And now no one can stop you because you know that God's with you, even though people ain't, And that's all you really need. As long as you see yourself doing something you fully love doing, why stop doing it, y'all? Just because they don't like it, that's because it's not for them. They shouldn't even be watching it. But life is gonna, like I say, do what it must. But I salute to all the real Scorpios out here, man. Especially if you've been betrayed, and you live with that fucking, that regret or that grit or just that agony, because that should strengthen you, man. People don't see it in you, well, that gives you reason to keep going, because you don't need them to see it in you. You just need them and their downfalls to be expelled, because that's how they see themselves, man, But you will forever haunt them or live through them or end them because you're not like them. So while you are changing or evolving constantly, they're going to always try to compete with you because they don't know what it is you're doing. So how can they be better than you, when they don't even have the knowledge? It will never happen. They're just going to keep falling for bait, or they're just going to fuck their own life up, man, because life is different for everybody, y'all. That's why you must learn through the problems you were given, It forced you. So why take away that, like I say, that sharpness when you have become the Sharpie, I knew that I was going to be something ever since I was younger. It just took time for me to, step into who I truly am. That's why I'm never trying to push out videos in a hurry, or I'm never trying to just, let me get on the camera and drop 8 videos. I stay right here and I wait because I'm not rushing nothing. A patient person gets everything he wants, or everything that needs him will come to him. But a person who's in a rush, y'all, will get nothing because you're, like I say, giving that energy out into the world, y'all, when most people ain't even acting on nervousness. Yeah, they're nervous sometimes at what the fuck's thrown at them, but they're not gonna live in nervous or nerve-reality because it's pointless, yo. Why are you gonna live your whole life and that mindset of worrying too much? You must act and stay present, y'all, because that shit is gonna create your reality or your future, So I'll give y'all this. Pay attention to what you are doing. Don't be worried about what people say. Fuck them. It's all about you. This is your life, man. They didn't see it in you, but that's why you have every right to see it in yourself, man. That's why you have every right to prove them hoes or prove them phonies wrong, because they don't know shit about you. They never did. Only thing they did know was who they were, so they put that shit upon you because they only seen what the fuck was in them, That's just straight up. Real talks in the chat, y'all. Nothing could, like I say, deplete or downgrade this message, because as someone who knows herself, y'all, is not even gonna worry about other people like that. Life is just what it is, y'all. So I'm gonna just stay on the lane. That's the right lane, So remember, if you are chosen, this video is for you. If you are walking alone, a loner, or you just like to be alone, well, that's because you know that the crowd doesn't fit in with you. They don't see mine like your mind, They just want, like I say, problems. They like to argue and shit. or they just like to always feel like that last word has to be by them. That's why I say, family, live for yourself, man. Live for your fucking self, man. Let them have that last word. It don't matter. It doesn't give you nothing. All it does is make their egos feel, functionable. But crushing the ego, y'all, is saying nothing or just letting it be and laughing at it because it's something that can affect you. It shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't at all, Why let that shit bother you, man? It's only gonna hold you back. If you can master your emotions, y'all, when nobody else can get to you because you're not worrying about them. You're worrying about your purpose. You're worrying about the problems that you must, live with. Because problems that you have endured, y'all, well, they're always gonna be a part of your reputation. You're the only one that knows it. But that should fire you up, man, like a firecracker, Boom! And that's when you should exploit, man. The goal is to hurt as many egos as you can because you're trying to remove that shit upon them because it's limiting their limitations, yo. The ego is only here to bring change when you learn to love and adapt with the ego. The ego is going to always feel like you got to compete or be right, man. But put that shit aside, man, and just live, knowing that you are being holy and staying pure because the ego is going to remind you that you got a war when it's time to, but not for no reason, not just for subtle bull things or just, crap that, you can't control because you can't control everything. Some things are out of your reach. So why stress about it, man? It's just going to hold your ass back. And that's why I don't like talking. Most of the chosen ones or the golden child, y'all, we don't like talking. We don't even like doing nothing but just living because it's pointless, y'all. Talking is not gonna make change, y'all, if they don't want to change, Change is with action, never with words, Words are just a portion of the bowl of soup, man. But what gives the soup its, flavor, its texture, and its, shape is, like I say, the liquid in that bowl. And the liquid is what you become, yo, when you choose, like I say, yourself and not the problems. Adapt with the problems. Live through pain and let that pain change you so you could be someone who is, not that same person again. Because I'm telling you, y'all, for the people who have been through shit, y'all, that's why they're millionaires. And that's why they never stop until they're literally deceased, y'all. Because who can stop someone who's been through the hell? Nobody. Because when you were in that hell, y'all, ain't nobody give you the hand out. So you had to, like I say, crawl out that mud hole your fucking self, man. You're spawn. You're scorpion. It's your season, man. So turn the fuck up, man. Step out here and laugh at the ones who thought they had it up on you because while you were trying to help and change, most people don't like that. Because, like I said, they love that demon or they love living in fucking hell. Hell is not a good thing to be proud of because when you transcend this world, y'all, if you stay stuck in hell, well, you ain't making it to heaven. And heaven is how you see it to be. A luminous being, someone that has hella energy, someone that's divine, pure, and not even worried about what anyone says because that's what it means to be divine. Divine is something that can shape a person to be the most authentic person in the world. But if you don't live off of that authentic, well then you'll never see life what it fully has to offer you because life is only gonna show you what it is off of your vibration, off of your frequency, and off of what the fuck you do. I can't help y'all if y'all don't want to change within. Everything starts from meditation and simply just holding on to your energy, y'all. That's truly the key, y'all. If you can do that every fucking day, y'all, you will go years upon years upon years because you're not worrying about outside external shit, y'all. Yes, you will love the external shit more because of the awareness you get, but that's not what you're gonna be living in 24/8 because you're trying to change And it starts with being somebody inside of you. Once you change your heart and change the way you do things, yo, well, then life starts to open up to you like a heaven's gate. That bitch starts to let you in because it sees, oh shit, even if he looks mad on the outside or he looks serious, well, his heart is pure as the sun, as the flowers that are sprouting. So he is accepted into this kingdom because it's not about the physical being. It's about who you are when no one else sees you, man. When you're alone with your shadow. I said you're a noob, cyborg. And he loves his shadow because, he has taken time to master himself and realize what his power truly is, which is that shadow, which is knowing that no one can fuck with me because of these abilities that I have, and I mastered them. So you come in close, y'all, you will get swallowed whole. And that's what he's showing you. So as I give y'all this message, man, stand to your purpose. Ignore the critics. Let them, speak their credentials, man. They're only giving you energy, y'all, because they're talking about you, y'all. To talk about someone is to feed into them. So they're feeding you more, like I said, more fucking gasoline to pour on their dead asses, And I give it to y'all raw like this because if I don't, who will? Who's gonna be so real to the point where they know that you can't change everybody, but you can change your environment and the people that are around you? Because when you step out this motherfucker, y'all, they're either gonna step away because they can't take that light, or they are gonna get right with you because they see something in you that they want, or they just want to try to gain, y'all. And that's what life is. Mesmerizing someone to the point where they change themselves because of how changing you become, y'all. You know how fucking, powerful that is? You are a star. You are a bright light. Somebody that can't be, stopped, literally. And that's what I say, man. You become real strong once you step. Because no one can step on you. Because you're not even worried about nobody, y'all. You're just making this video because people need it. Or they need, change or reminders. But it's what it is, y'all. As long as you love what you're doing, y'all, keep doing it. If you love to play the game, play that game. If you love to eat pizza and you love to do everything, eat it. Do it. Just remind yourself that the shadow work must be done when it is right for you to do it. Which is, like I say, practicing deep breaths, stepping outside and go hugging a fucking tree because, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be here without that shit. Because it runs through your veins, man. But just remind yourself that I'm everywhere that I need to be as long as I stay on the journey and as long as I let my light outshine the darkness that it evades in my space, man, because people are gonna feel like, how the fuck do you have that power to make me feel good in a way to where I'm treating you right, but I don't never usually treat no one right, or I never talk to anybody because your light, man, it's impacting their asses, man, on a metaphysical level. They only taught y'all so much about science, but they didn't teach y'all everything that science is to hold. So that's why people might look crazy, or they might seem like intimidated heavy because it's their first time hearing this kind of gem. You become the gem once you start living with the information you was given because you're a truth holder. You got the key card, y'all, and everybody else can't get into this, if you want to say the station, or they just can't pass into the room, y'all, if they don't have that card with them. The card takes time to get, y'all, because you must work your ass off to feel like you're worth it. But other than that, y'all, I'm gonna end the video right here. I just wanted you to keep going. Just because I haven't posted doesn't mean that I'm, I lost myself or I'm not worrying about y'all. I got a life too, so I gotta live it good. That's what I'm telling y'all, family. Live your life, man. When I post, I will, and you can watch it always, or you can go watch the old videos if I ever fall away from this world. But I'm telling y'all, as someone who has lived in the sand and it started coming out because, Scorpio season, man. Let that shit remind you that, it is what it is. I ain't worried about nobody. I'm worried about what I gotta do daily, whether that's working out, whether that's being somebody, or whether that's just trying to change because everything else changes. The grass grows when you cut it. So why not change, man? And that's why there's no changes in your life, man, because you are expecting a change when you ain't changing. But I give y'all this video, man, as you know, change will only happen when you are the changer. You know, Solo Level is important to watch if you love anime because, you know, he started from the ground to become someone that has an E rank, which is literally A. You can't be a motherfucking powerful being, y'all, if you don't even have nothing to feel that you earned that. A sword ain't sharpened just by putting, you know, a metal piece at the tip of that, you know. If you want to say whatever you want to call it, but you know what it is. This that's holding the sword, its point and its whole shape is your pain. So let's call this your pain. And the shit that's forging it, y'all, is all those problems that you've been through. That's what's sharpening it every day, because as you think about it, y'all, shit starts changing because you are the changer. You don't like living in that problem. So stay still and be real, and you will live a life knowing that I've been somebody who loves me. People won't like that you love yourself too much because they gonna think you're doing too much. But fuck them. That's because they don't have peace and love within them. But remember, Halloween's coming up, so live it and have fun with the memories you make, man. Just be careful and stay calm and be a peaceful storm. Only ready to eradicate the ones that come near you and try to fuck with you. But it's one love, man. I'll see y'all in the next video.